Switch 2 launch title, Mario Kart World, was originally in development more than 5 years ago solely for the original Nintendo Switch. God damn, if I'm not like just spot on when it comes to these fucking games where I can see that this is just the old shit just spruced up. This was not them going crazy, putting all their energy into making this dope big thing. No, they started it and they had performance issues. Let's read it real quick. All right. And then we'll keep it moving. It actually started in 2017. 2017, when the Switch dropped, they started making this game. That's crazy. All right. So Mario Kart World began development on Switch 1 and suffered performance struggles until Switch 2 delay offered ray of hope. We knew it was going to get messy. God damn. Switch 2 launch title Mario Kart World was originally in development more than 5 years ago solely for the original Nintendo Switch. However, Nintendo has said its development team struggled to get Mario Kart World's 24-player concept working on its aging Switch 1 hardware, to the point where it was faced with making major technological compromises. In the end, these compromises were abandoned in favor of a new approach. As early as 2020, Mario Kart World's developers say they had a rough idea of Nintendo Switch 2 tech specs, and so began discussing a delay for the project until Nintendo's next-gen machine. Speaking as part of a revealing Ask the Developer interview, Nintendo's Mario Kart World team said they had approached the concept of incorporating open-world gameplay and 24-player multiplayer from a calm and collected programming perspective to see whether it would be possible. However, the team soon decided it would not. It was difficult for us to incorporate everything we wanted, so we were always conscious of what we were giving up in return, said Mario Kart World programming director Kenta Sato. We discussed things like toning down the visuals, lowering the resolution, and even considered dropping the frame rate to 30 FPS in some cases. It was a tough situation. While confident in the concept, Mario Kart World team continued attempting to make it work, but felt like they were kicking the can down the road, according to producer Kosuke Yabuki. We knew it was going to be messy, Yabuki continued, but as we decided to release Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pack, we thought that would give us a bit more time to continue development. God, look at how it's all just to squeeze more money and to get more time, bastards. All right, I thought it was longer. That's when the conversation moving into the Nintendo Switch 2 system came up, and this suddenly opened up a bunch of possibilities on what we could do. It's truly a ray of hope. This was around 2020. So we're in 2025, 5 years, and it was in. So this is an 8-year-old development. Jesus. When Nintendo developers had an idea of the next system, but working development units were available, so the Mario Kart World team continued on using estimates of Switch 2 power. Included everything we wanted to in this game's vast world, then it wouldn't have run at 60 FPS and would have suffered from constant frame rate drops. I think there were a lot of people on the team who were worried about whether we could really manage it. But once we decided to release this on Switch 2, we expected our worries to evaporate all at once. I remember being overjoyed when I discovered we can express even more than we originally set out to. All right. So I read that just for everybody to get some context of what's going on here. Right. But this is my real problem. This game, they're doing this because they're butthurt that they spent 8 years making this game. That's why it was the most expensive game that they worked on, because they spent years fiddling around with something that wasn't going to work. And then what happened? They came out, they made the game $80. All right. This is wild. Okay. That they took a game that was meant for the Switch. And let's be clear, just because they made the expectation, a little higher towards the end, they developed a game that they believe would run on a Switch 1, not the game that they thought would run on a Switch 2. So they took that base and just made that work and then added to it. That's why it looks so similar, and it annoys me that they didn't actually go ahead and put all this energy into making something that actually looked amazing on their box. but this is the game that leads the $80 charge, right? So, again, what do you guys feel about this before we get into the real part of this? Because I just want to take another dig at this before we get into real fans.
Nintendo. Once again, doing their thing. I'm not surprised, guys. I'm not surprised, and this has been going on for a long time. I don't think that Nintendo fans should be picking up Nintendos because of graphical fidelity, because of they're gonna do anything crazy with their hardware or something. It is only if you like their games. I think the most important part of Nintendo is the games, and they do it, for the most part, a good job. But this is like, come on, bro. Show some love and give some love to the one of the most legendary IPs, right? That we have in gaming. So yeah, this is like unacceptable. That's just how I feel. I feel like they should have like add a little bit more of something. I don't know, more flair to the game. I don't know. It's a weird situation because I'm a type of person that I like to play Mario Kart. I do like to play it, but it's like occasionally. It's not like I'm gonna go out my way to go ahead and buy a Nintendo Switch just to play Mario Kart. That just happened if I go to my homeboy's house and he happens to have a Switch on, and if I go to my sister-in-law, she has a Switch too, and sometimes we plugged in and we play occasionally, not a big deal. This doesn't make any difference to me. It's just that Nintendo fans are gonna take it and they're not gonna say shit. We've been over this before, so that's just the way I feel. I feel like they should have poured more love and more budget into Mario games, which they really sell. Like these, like if you're gonna drop some money on something, like doing it on Mario, on Super Mario and the franchise, you can never go wrong with this. So for them to cheap out and give you the same shit and recycling the same shit they've been doing for years, it's just outrageous. But that's just how I feel.
Well, you also know that this is going to be the last like Mario Kart for this entire generation, right? So if you are a Mario, like, listen, I like Mario Kart. Maybe that's why I'm so frustrated by this, because I do enjoy Mario Kart. I like playing with the kids. We have a fun time, but it's like this is supposed to be the next gen game, and this is what they did. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what they did. They just took a game that they should have just released at some point on the Switch, because they did not release a Mario Kart on the last gen. And now, who knows? We might not even get another Mario Kart in the next gen after this. They might pull the same bullshit because they saw how successful it was, where they'll just make this one look better for the new gen. Like, come on, man. I don't know. That frustrates me. And it's 80. It's 80. We're paying 80 because they try to make a game work on a platform that didn't work. Frustrates me. What do you think, Hargeet? Are you pissed too? You sick of this shit?
I don't like $80 games, but this is normal. This is what happens, right? So that's like development cycles are like this. Things start, stop, start, stop. It's pretty normal. The fact that they figured out it doesn't work on the Switch, well, duh. And then they have to wait till the Switch 2. Okay, fair enough. Whatever. Is this usually at the beginning of any given generation, you don't get like the full capability of that generation, right? It's usually not the case. You usually start really getting, most of the capabilities later on, right? When people start figuring it out and know all the tips and tricks, right? And then can really take advantage of the hardware. So, but yeah, this is probably going to be the one that we have for at least 5 years, right? If not more, right? Because it took 5 years to make this one. So, that's likely, right? So, but I don't know. Well, whatever. Either way, as long as the gameplay is fun, I'll be happy. I don't care. But is it good that it's $80? No, I think that sucks. This is not the game I expected for $80. I just didn't. But it happened. As far as the development cycle, that doesn't shock me. Metroid Prime 4 has been announced for a very, very long time.
I know, bro. Don't even get me started on that one. That's another one that fucking shit the bed. So this is the thing, and this is where we made a big deal. Obviously, you guys remember, or you should remember, when this first came out. Like, I was making a huge deal about the impact that them deciding that Mario was worth 80 was going to have on the industry. We already saw that Microsoft already said, hey, games are going to be 80. Thanks, Mario. And then now we have a game that people are excited about called Borderlands 4. Now, I think we can all agree that Borderlands 3 was a way bigger game than anything that Nintendo could put together. Okay. Now, we do know now that Borderlands 4 has twice the development budget of Borderlands 3, right? This is what we know now. So, there was a question that was asked. Okay. And that question came from when Randy put a quote tweet about being excited for the Switch 2 and that Borderlands 4 is going to be on it, right? The question was, Randy, this game better not be $80. Don't take that risk. A lot of gamers aren't going to pay $80 and feed this notion of constant increase of the price tag. You are the CEO. You have some say with the price when it comes to your publisher. Okay. So that's
actually factually incorrect. He has no say in the price. The publisher.
Exactly. Because the publisher is the one who will determine that. But
because Housemarque would not want to have sold Returnal at $70. That was a
facts.
$50 game, $40 game. And it would have sold so much better if it was $40.
Agreed. So this question comes up. Okay. And then Randy goes ahead and gives an answer, and we're going to discuss the answer. But before we discuss the answer, I want to go back to what we just said. Borderlands 4 costs twice the amount of money as Borderlands 3. Now, aside from Randy not knowing what this is going to cost because it's not his call, I think he has an inkling of what it's going to cost based off his answer, right? But you think that 2K is going to look and see what they spent on Borderlands 3, see that they doubled it, and then look over and see that Nintendo is charging $80 for a glossied up Switch 1 game? I don't think they're going to say, okay, let's make our game 70. You know what I'm saying? It's just highly unlikely to me. So this is the frustration I have, because Mario and Mario Kart did this. They led the way with this shit. And this is where we are now, where you get answers like this. Randy Pitchford says, A, not my call. That's true, right? Publisher is the one. But B, and this is where the bullshit comes in. If you're a quote unquote real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. My local game store had Starflight for Sega Genesis for $80 in 1991 when I was just out of high school working minimum wage at an ice cream parlor in Pismo Beach, and I found a way to make it happen. So he gave this big ass fucking speech, right? Why? Because you think the game is going to be 70? Or do you think he knows it's probably going to be 80? I think he knows it's probably going to be 80.
I don't think he knows. And even if he knew, I just think that he should shut the hell up, bro. And I think what's happening is, like, he's not about Borderlands. You know, he has nothing to do with it, honestly. He's just an asshole. That's what it is. And I'm sorry to say this, but like, that's not a way to for you speaking to your fans, right? To the fans of the franchise. It should be like, look, it's not my call. I'm sure if you guys really like it, you guys will go ahead and get it. But like, it's just like the wording, right? It just sounds like an asshole. That's what it sounds like. But I'm pretty sure that it's probably because he's, probably overwhelmed because of the questions that are being asked. And it is what it is. I don't care. I love Borderlands. I'm gonna play it, but it's just like a turn off. Having somebody who has nothing to do with the creative process of the game and talking shit and I think he needs to get the hell out of there, bro. And at least shut the hell up. Don't talk. You just do what you're supposed to do behind the scenes, and that's it. Like, we don't want to hear from you. We don't want to hear, go ahead and watch any news related to you. None of that. We just care about the game. So for now on, just keep it quiet because you are destroying Borderlands. It's probably going to be a good game. And now it's going to be scrutinized because of your dumbass talking shit. Like, that's just how I see it.
And there's a lot of people who, I mean, if you read the replies, like just the first reply right there says, thanks, now I won't buy the game, even if it's cost $70. I mean, I could tell you right now, 100%, I will not be buying Borderlands at $80. Like, that's not happening. Like,
chances are I probably won't be doing it. I just wait for a discount, pick it up for $60-$50 or whatever when the time comes. And that's just how it is. That's a reality that these people have to face now when they put out $80 games. A lot of people are not gonna buy into this. They're gonna learn today. They're gonna learn at their hard way. But guys, speak with your wallets. If you don't agree with a game, don't fall into FOMO. Be strong with how you spend your money. I'm sure there's plenty of games to play besides Borderlands. So I'm not telling you not to go ahead and not buy it because I'm definitely gonna get it because I've been looking forward to to this game for a long time. But I mean, it is messed up that they are talking to us like that, like we have no fucking choice. It just pissed me off.
Yeah, it's real wild. The idea that, like, again, he's acting like he's back in the past when maybe this was like the only high profile game that was dropping that people would care about. But it's like, bro, you're literally one game amongst many, right? And like, honestly, $80 is just not it, bro. Like, that's essentially almost $90 when you buy that game. You understand? Like, $80 is bullshit. That don't mean nothing. You can't have $80 in cash and walk away with that game. Understand? No matter where you are, even if you buy digital, whatever the case is, you can't have $80 in your account and buy that game. You have to add tax to that shit. Tax on $80, depending on where you live, is going to put you at $85, $86. Some places $87, almost $90 to buy that fucking game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's insane.
That's fucking bullshit, bro. Like, I'm almost spending $100 when I pay $20 a month and get fucking 40 games this month, and I'm gonna pay $80 for your one fucking game, bro. I'm sorry, but that's not gonna fucking fly for me, man. That's real crazy. And I think isn't Borderlands 3 in Game Pass?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
All right.
Borderlands 3 is in Game Pass, Ultimate Edition with everything, Definitive Edition, I think.
PC
I'll
and
see you in Game Pass, Borderlands 4. Unless 2K, you wanna send us the game. You're right. Feel free. All right, we'll play it like that. But
or Take Two gets bought. But anyway,
or Take Two gets bought. Xbox, make it happen. Shut this dude up.
Save Borderlands from Randy Pitchford. That's all I gotta say. Save it.
No, I don't care as far as like him developing, but like he
talking.
He needs to learn to not speak this way in public, right? He's the head of a studio, right? Like it's fine to do this when you're an independent studio, but they got bought up by Embracer. Now they're part of Take Two. I'm pretty sure somebody at Take Two PR is going to be reaching out and saying, "What the F are you doing?" So like, you don't do these kind of things, right? Like you said, Demo, it's not my call. I hope it's a price that you guys can access it. Looking forward to the release. I hope you love the game. That something along those lines is more than enough. You don't say if you're a real fan, you're gonna spend like, dude, just stop. And I get the frustration from inside. I get it. I understand. But the point of being a leader is knowing what to say at the right times. And you don't say these kind of things to alienate the customer that you need to have. It's just a bad idea. So 100%. I would be shocked if Take Two PR isn't going to reach out and say, Randy, that will not be happening again. So your Twitter account is ours now, and we will vet your stupid freaking posts for the next 6 months, and you will then learn what to actually post correctly. And if you're ever talking about anything Take-Two business, it must go through us, because that's what really should happen. And in most cases, that's what companies do. That you cannot post about company shit without it going through the company. Like, it's just not the way to go, especially when you rely on direct customer buying your shit. It's just
Bro, we just talked about Hargy, we just talked about the fucking price being double of Borderlands 3. Like, do you think
it's a $300 million
here
budget
and coming over here and talking shit about you'll find a way to buy our game if you're a real fan?
It's like he could have done the opposite and said, I will try my best to make sure you get the right price, but it's not my call. Ultimately, it's up to the publisher, Take-Two, right? But I will push for that for you guys. But that would have endeared them, right? How much better would that statement have been, right? And say, okay, like, look, they're at least trying to make it better for me, right? Versus, F you, pay the $80.
Hey, I see over here. Hold on, Pragmatic Eagle, my dude, always with the bars, says, how do you know that comment wasn't vetted?
Oh, I know.
Because
it does not have the standard PR talk. He's talking about my purchase that I made in 1991. No, this is absolutely not vetted. 100%. No PR team would put anything like that out. Sorry.
Well, maybe they didn't write it, but they read it and they were like, all right, that's not that bad. Go ahead.
This
I
is
don't
like,
know.
like telling your people, CMoney and I, right here in the chat, like, screw you guys. In order for you to watch my videos, it's gonna be $5 to get in. Like, it's just like literally like doing that, like to them, like, if you can afford it, I can help it. This is how it's gonna be. Even if I have 5 people here watching me, like, this is fucking stupid. That's just
yeah. No, I don't think this is PR vetted at all.
That's real wild. Yeah, I don't know. Listen, I think the biggest thing is in this day and age, we talk a lot about the industry here and the shape that it's in and how, big name brand shit that you think would do crazy good, not doing crazy good. I mean, listen, a $300 million budget at $80 a pop. Like, let's just do the math and call a spade, right? So you got 300 mil at $80. They have to sell almost 4 million copies. But, well, you got to remember, they take 30%, right? So it's not actually 80, right? So 80 times 30%. So they lose $24. So 80 minus 24 equals, so $56. So they actually only net $56. So for their budget of $300 million at $56 a pop, they have to sell 5,357,000 copies just to break even. That's at full price. No discounts. Yeah. There's no discounts here. They have to sell this many at full price. I mean,
so
that's not easy. That's not easy. How much did Borderlands 3 sell?
Good bloody question.
They sold like 16 million, something like that. I think. Not sure. But they did pretty good. All things considered, because a lot of people weren't really happy with the villains. So hopefully the villains around this game could be better.
So
22 million.
So I see 18 million.
Yeah, 22 million.
Where do you see total? Where do you see 22?
As of May 2025, sales have exceeded 22 million copies.
Okay, so 22 million copies. So they're banking that they're going to get a lot of those people back, and maybe they are. If this game is better,
the launch was 5 million within the first 5 days.
Okay, so that's really good.
And so, but here's the thing, right? So, and why this starts to matter as an independent studio, you don't have to worry about shareholders. When you are part of Take-Two, making statements like this can affect your stock price, So this is unfortunately just the way it is, right? Any negative news towards any company about anything, especially since Take-Two is already in a little bit of a financial hiccup because they were expecting a big game to come out this year that's not going to happen, right? So they're already in a little bit of a financial, mess, as it were. You don't want to do this. You just don't. You don't want to do this. So hopefully it'll still be okay. Hopefully it'll be 70 and not 80. But yeah, this PR mess just needs to stop. I don't know how people don't realize this stuff, how they don't have a filter. Like, yo, you're part of a big company. I'm actually surprised they don't already have training about this. Like almost every company I work with, they have training. You cannot speak about these things. You cannot speak. You are locked. Like there's just so much stuff you are required to like filter because it could affect the company. And so you cannot talk about these kind of things. Like even if you're one of the leaders, you have to be very careful about what you do because you're going to affect the stock price. So it's just the way it is. I'm shocked that he doesn't already have that training, right? And like, why would you say these things?
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, look, listen. At the end of the day, clearly they sold a lot of copies of Borderlands 3. So if they doubled the budget, it goes from 5 mil to 10 mil that they need to sell, right, to make it a no, I'm sorry. The budget is 300 mil. So 300. It went from whatever it was 3 mil to like 5 mil that they had to sell. So if it looks like they're gonna cross that pretty easily if they ended up with 22, but it's just how long it takes, right? And 22 mil, again, that game was free. That game was, very low price on discount. So, how that number actually maps out to it, we don't know. But again, what you don't want to do is put yourself in any situation that'll make people not want to buy your game. You know what I'm saying? Like just to be spiteful. Like people are spiteful today, bro. This is the truth. People get behind a cause and they're like, fuck this shit. We're not buying it. And this shit happens. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully this doesn't blow up in their face,
By the way, CMoney, when you try to play Borderlands, I don't know if have you played 3?
Borderlands 3?
Yeah.
I played a little bit of it and then we didn't like it.
So one of the things that apparently Borderlands, I've only played it this way is co-op. If you're gonna play Borderlands, definitely play it co-op. It's much more fun.
That's the way we were playing. It was Doodle and I, and I don't remember if it was this one that does that 4-player as well, split screen?
Yes. I
know
don't think it has any split screen. But I don't think it had any split screen. I'm not sure if it has split screen or not. But it definitely has 4 players. I just don't know if it has split screen.
He actually has it.
I'm pretty sure it has split screen.
Yeah, he has split screen, I think. Yeah.
Okay. 4-way or is it 2-way? Do you know?
That's what I don't remember. I don't know if it's 4-way or 2-way. I know Borderlands 2 had 4-way, if I'm not mistaken. I also may be remembering it wrong.
Borderlands 2 is 360?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I think, right? Yeah, 360. Yeah. There were a lot more of those kind of games back then, right? Where multiplayer, you actually had good split screen. That kind of fell off.
Yeah, but now you get
Borderlands 2 does have split screen, allowing up to 4 players to play together on a single console. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're doing the same on 4, but 3 does have it. Yeah, I remember we played it and I was like, all right, we're good. Well, all right, listen. I don't know if this is going to come and bite them in the ass. I will not be playing at $80. I can tell you that much.